Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are here to talk about some board games on this Wednesday episode, sponsored by Gray Fox Games.
Solid intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saved it the last second. I almost forgot.
It's no snowboarding. Haven't gone snowboarding.
We got snow.
We got snow, which
It's starting to snow more and more.
yeah.
The snow's still on the ground, and there's supposed to be more snow tonight, and then I think some snow on Thursday too, a little bit. So
Yeah.
The last snow was just done, and it was about to go away, and then new snow.
yeah.
It was like 60 degrees today, and then we went on a walk at like 3.
It was
and then
so
went on a
nice
walk at like 4:30 or 5, and it was like, holy fuck, it got cold.
Yeah. Well, we're known for temperature swings. I
Yes.
remember the biggest one I saw was 80 degrees to 29 degrees in one day.
Yeah.
It went from 57 to 25
Yeah.
low tonight. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still 57 all day.
Yeah.
And sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Like global warming,
Mm-hmm.
global climate change. It's coming for you.
Yes, it is.
The weather is nice, however.
For now.
Yeah.
So in February, fun fact, in February, Denver set a new record of a 72-degree drop over the course of 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so roughly a year ago.
Yeah. I was going to say the biggest one I'd seen was 86 to 26.
Wow.
So that's even more than that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were a lot of heavy winds then too. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's usually when it starts getting windy, you're like, the chill's coming. And especially if you can smell Greeley and all the cow shit, like, snow's a coming.
In 2008, it went from 58 degrees at midnight on December 14th to minus 18 by midnight on December 16th. That's fucking cold.
Yes, it
Minus
is.
16? Fuck that.
Yep.
So that's the weather.
Yeah.
On to news.
News on the 5.
Yep. On the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember the Weather Channel?
Right, it's still a thing.
It is, but I haven't had cable in a long time.
Who has?
Yeah.
I was in somebody's house today and they had cable.
Yeah. It's always weird.
Yeah.
Like, what are commercials?
It's like, why are you spending so much for that fancy box up there
Yeah.
when you're just going to watch Netflix all fucking day anyway?
It's true.
Yeah. Did you watch season 2 of The Punisher yet?
No,
Okay.
I have not yet.
I didn't ever watch The Punisher.
I didn't.
The last thing I watched was Jessica Jones season 1.
I think the last thing I watched was Luke Cage.
Last thing I
Yeah.
watched was halfway through season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Okay.
So I still haven't watched Daredevil season 3
I've lost-
or Punisher season 2.
They're all canceled, so I've lost all will
Exactly.
to like go and watch them now.
Yeah.
There's a lot there to watch.
Yeah,
But what
and they're just connected enough that I like to finish each one so I catch the small references. And so, but I don't ever really have a desire to go back and finish watching Jessica Jones season 2. So
what really finished me off was when Iron Fist was bad. And then I just never watched it. That was the one I was most excited for.
I heard season 2 was a lot better, but
Was there
Oh, they
Iron
had
Fist
it?
season 2?
yes.
oh, I also have not seen that.
Yeah. But
No,
no,
no
I didn't
wonder
even,
they canceled it.
Yeah. I didn't even watch The Defenders, so
Yeah.
I liked Defenders except for Luke Cage.
Like the person
Or
in
not, sorry.
the show?
No, except for
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danny
Danny Reed.
Rand?
Rand?
Rand.
Rand
Rand.
Corporation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
No, I like Luke Cage. Although even his stuff got not. I never watched Luke Cage season 2 either. I haven't watched much since Defenders.
Yeah.
Been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show. Or
The Great British Bake Off. Yes.
Which then I think changed to Great British Baking Show when they moved it to Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, just finished season 1 last night. It's fantastic.
I started watching The Expanse. It's
Also good.
It's a real good hard sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Well, it starts off hard sci-fi, I should say.
When it was written, I know because it was originally a book, right?
Yes.
And it was written by like editors or assistants to George R.R. Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who like helped him with shit, and then they decided to go do that instead. So
Yeah.
it's a slow burn like Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Season 2 has really gotten fucky with things like that. It's a Prime show.
Mhm.
They can say fuck. They did say fuck in like season 2, which it was on Sci-Fi at the time, so I can only assume they bleeped it or it's a different take. Because I know
Probably.
they did that with The Walking Dead too, where they cursed, but they used different takes, and then all the cursing was put into like the like DVDs or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Fun fact. Maybe it's on the Netflix version too.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
But let's not watch.
Speaking of
The
another
Walking
show
Dead.
that I haven't caught up on the latest season of.
I stopped watching when that van fell off the bridge like straight. It was tipping. There was a van on a bridge, and they were tipping over and then going over, and then it landed on all four wheels at the bottom.
That was a long time ago.
That's how long I have not watched that show.
Which show?
I forgot about
The
that.
Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. I think you said it, and then my mind immediately just like whites it out. So I just heard, yeah, blah, blah, and then I just didn't hear anything. So I was like, I don't know. Yeah.
It's a self-defense mechanism.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. Against all zombies.
Yeah.
You'll just forget you were ever bitten by a zombie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's fine.
No, yeah. See,
Yeah,
the zombie disease only works if you know you're a zombie.
Yeah.
Don't feel like that's how it works at all.
I mean,
but
maybe
Can
in
you
Zach's-
prove it in real life?
no, I can't.
Yeah.
But The Expanse is real good.
Yeah.
Only the first 2 seasons are on Prime though. The 3rd season's there, but you have to buy it.
Gotcha.
That's lame.
Yeah. Gotta wait for season 3 to come out. Been playing some video games.
Yeah.
Finally started cutting into Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice. That's a great game.
Um,
More PS4 exclusives.
Yep. I got a free copy back when I worked for Target
Mm-hmm.
because I was in on like the Sony retail site, and then got a free copy from them and never played it. And then this last holiday, GameStop had the complete collection for $10, and I was
Yeah.
like, the DLC for that game's probably more than $10 anyways, so I'll just spend $10 on it and just play it. And I have, and it's good.
Yeah. How far in are you?
I don't know. Not that far.
Have you come across the Stormbirds or the robot, the T-Rex robots?
I have not come across that. I just got to the first like tall
Yeah.
radar-y thing,
Yes.
and then a couple hours past that.
Just remember that the I forget what the T-Rex things are called.
Thunder,
Thunder.
yeah, Jaws.
Thunderjaw. Yes.
Yeah.
They have drones. So remember that they have drones.
Once I get there, I'm gonna be like, Zach,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die
Yeah.
to drones, and I'm like, Zach reminded me
Yes.
for the drones. Damn
You'll
it.
get there and you'll be like, I feel like there's something I was supposed to.
No, you'll be like, I think it was
Drones.
fine. I'll shoot, and then these things will come out and start attacking you while it.
Also attacks you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. My favorite thing was that I was on the deer things, whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it immediately killed the deer thing that I was on, so I couldn't
Oh.
run away. I was like, oh god.
The last thing I did was I went into the first robot workshop thing.
Oh, yeah, those-
Conclave or
yeah.
whatever it's called.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, those are fucked. Weird.
Weird. It's such a great looking game too.
Yeah, that game's good.
Yeah. And I like all the like video diary shit of things you see of the past.
Yeah, I haven't really found many of the like little reading ones. It seems like there's a million of them, but I have
Yes.
no idea how to like find them. I just sort of come across them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I want to find them all.
I really like the story.
It totally takes place in Colorado.
Yeah. Red Rocks is there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I found the Air Force Academy.
Nice.
The ruins of the Air Force Academy.
Yep.
The chapel.
Mm-hmm.
It was surrounded by corrupted, weird dinosaur robots.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I need to play that game again.
Sure, why not? New game. I guess they added New Game Plus and a bunch
Exactly,
of shit
yeah.
like that. That was a big thing that people were like, "Oh, I beat the game and there's no New Game Plus," and then they just added it later.
Yes. Yep. You also started Odyssey, right?
Yeah, I started playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey when my computer still works, but it only works for like 4 hours, and then I have to give it like a 30-minute break, and then it works for 4 more hours. And so I'd play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then go to Horizon Zero Dawn, and then be like, okay, I'm out of breaking this, and then I'd go back to Assassin's Creed. So many question marks.
So
That I just be like, they're just surrounding me. I just see them on the compass.
Yes.
And
it's such a big game.
yeah,
Easily you can spend 80 hours on that.
and my computer runs it very well.
Nice.
I've been looking at motherboards today. I'm finally at a paycheck where I can buy a new motherboard.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I also, like, when I bought my video card, though, I got like 20% back in like a gift card later because I bought it in November and it was supposed to be like, all right, in December, you get this gift card and come back and buy gifts. And
Yeah.
I just still have it. So I have like $35 or
Okay,
something.
nice.
Maybe it was like 15%, but I have like $35 I can throw towards a new motherboard.
I need to work on my computer sometime soon because when I turn it on, half the time it just gets stuck at the loading screen with the wheel.
I found an SSD for a good price.
I have an SSD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
Mm-hmm. The other half of the time works fine, so I just turn it off, turn it back on. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. World of Warcraft's not going to play itself. Well,
I mean,
because no one's playing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's literally, it's not going to play itself because no one's playing it.
Nope. You been playing any more Red Dead?
Yep. Still been crushing Red Dead. I came across the KKK guys who light themselves on fire.
Oh, yeah?
Which I'm glad you told me they light themselves on fire, because when I first came across them, like,
you were just going to shoot them?
No, I had the stick of dynamite out.
I also had the dynamite.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I had it. And then I was just like,
wait.
I'll let it play out and then I'll throw the dynamite.
Yeah. But meanwhile, I was like, wait, Jeff said they light themselves on fire. So I put the dynamite away and I pulled out my shotgun. And then I waited, and when they lit themselves on fire and started scattering, it was like a duck hunt.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Proto KKK? I don't know if they were that.
Oh no,
back
they're
then.
full KKK.
Is that an 1800s thing? I don't remember.
Yeah, because they even had notes on the bodies that, like, one of them was like the meeting notes from the last meeting, and it was like, memberships down. What can we do to increase recruitment? Still no women, and then something about like changing the names from like Sorcerer Supreme or something. Like
Grand Wizard.
Yeah. They weren't quite the actual names, though.
No.
They tweaked them a bit.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I don't think they ever really say it.
No, I mean, they're a bunch of dudes in white robes and
Pointed
hoods
hats. Yeah.
with a cross that they're trying to light on fire when they light themselves on fire.
Yeah, what I always think of is like that scene in Django Unchained where they come across the dentist thing, and then it's like, I can't see out my hood.
Yeah.
And then they all die.
Yep.
Yep.
Was it Jonah?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill was in there. Yeah. Oh, racism.
Yep.
Comedic when it's racist, it's on fire.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so I'm currently in the south, region of that
The
world.
Louisiana-esque,
Yeah.
eastern Texas.
I learned it because I'm slow. It took me 3 times of doing this, but I learned you could not cross the Mississippi.
That's the edge.
The air quote, because it looks like there's land beyond. Like there's even like a
course
prison
there does.
island with like on the even
It's
on the
not
map.
just gonna just end.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I could maybe get to that land.
No. I mean, you can see Mexico. Can't get to Mexico.
Yeah, so I started to swim the first time, and then I got like a long ways across, like using stamina potions and stuff. And then I got to a point where like all of my stamina just immediately tanked and I drowned. And I was like, well, fuck, I didn't know that could happen if you use too many. Like I thought they just stopped working or something.
So you did it again.
No, so then I got a canoe, and then I took the canoe across, and I got most of the way across, and then the canoe sank, and then I kept swimming, and then I died. And I was like, well, clearly the canoe was the problem. So then I got a fucking rowboat.
Why did you just not use a boat at the beginning?
Yeah, why swim?
Why start with the swim?
Because I didn't have a boat at the time. I was just like, I was riding along the road, and I was like, I could see, it looked like something cool off on the island, and I looked on my map, and it was a prison, and it had the big red border around it, like, it's high alert. And so I was going to go check it out, and I couldn't ever make it over there.
Third time was the charm on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Well, no, then once and then once the rowboat broke, and then I drowned, and then I was like, and then I put 3 and 3 together, and was like, oh wait, this has always been at the exact same point crossing the river. I've clearly hit the wall and tried to keep going, and so I stopped that foolishness.
Aha.
But I've been a little sidetracked from main story for a little bit, where I've been trying to pursue getting like the upgraded satchels and some of that. So I've been really on a hunting quest where I've been traveling around trying to hunt the legendary creatures, which makes me feel like a terrible person. Like this really awesome, unique, legendary animal, and I fucking kill it and skin it.
Yeah.
Nice. Which kind of makes me feel bad. I can't go on the hunts when Megan's around because she's like, "Why are you killing the fox? Don't kill foxes."
Well, it was running nearby. I have a varmint rifle for a reason.
Yeah.
Kill varmints.
Yeah. So
well, you should be like, Megan, this takes place in the 1800s. No matter, even if I leave this guy alone, he's already dead now.
If I don't kill him now, he's just gonna die later.
Yeah.
It really annoys me though that there's not an option to like look at people when you're holding a weapon that doesn't involve pointing the weapon in their face. Because like I'll come across like one of those random events where like somebody's getting held up or something, and I'll save them. And then I'll not be paying attention, and I'll go to talk to them by focusing on them with left trigger, which points my gun at them. And they're like, "Oh, fuck, you're crazy too," and go running off. And I'm like, sorry?
So obviously you just killed them, right? You're like, You don't want yeah.
I mean, you can chase down people that are going to go report you.
Yeah, exactly. And
They don't usually go to report. Like when you saved them, they're happy you saved them. They're not reporting you, but they still flee, and like you don't get a chance to talk to them and maybe get a reward or.
well, if
anything.
you kill them, you'll get a reward as from whatever is on their body.
Except I'm doing this whole like honorable criminal
well,
play.
then you make sure nobody sees you. And then,
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
No witnesses.
I have a conscience.
Fun fact: you also should have a outlaw outfit and like a going around doing good stuff outfit because people can point you out by your outfit.
Yeah. Well, I don't do a lot of going around criminal.
Get a bandana.
There's 3 out. You can hold 3 outfits on your horse. Before I do something uncouth, I will change into my outlaw outfit that I will then bandana up in.
Nice.
My horse outfit thing has been glitching where like if I try to store a custom outfit, it goes away. Like because it says I can store 5, but then it always just reverts to like 2 basics and whatever I'm wearing, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But I still really like the game. I'll be getting back to the story pretty soon, I'm sure.
Speaking of Westerns, I watched on Netflix The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
That was really good.
It was so good.
Oh, it's so good.
I found it very mediocre.
Yeah?
I liked the old Prospector vignette,
That one was probably the best.
and I liked the opening vignette, and that was roughly it.
The kind of funny one and the only one without a terrible, horrible ending.
Yeah, I did like
They're all
the
pretty-
end, the
they're all
end
pretty
one.
dark.
Although the end one like didn't fully make sense to me. Like I felt like I don't know if I want to talk about it too much because I think I know what they were like alluding to with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But maybe off mic we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's another hit from the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
I was not as impressed.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing a lot of Red Dead. I've been on a Western kick, so I've watched like all the great old ones like Tombstone, Unknown, Young Guns. Some of them not as like I'm using good very loosely here. Like Fistful of Dollars,
Fistful
Good,
More.
the Bad, and the Ugly.
You can actually in Red Dead you can dress up like all of these westerns. There's so many like outfit options in the game. They've put basically in all of them, so you
Yes.
can dress up as the man with no name.
Yep.
Like the vest is called like the nameless vest.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but then like the new and old True Grit, the new True Grit, I didn't realize Maddie Jones or whatever, or I think Maddie's the name of the character. But
Haley Stayfield or whatever her name is.
yeah, who was
Which you've already said on this podcast.
have I? Okay,
Yes.
well then I've
Fairly
already-
recently.
Yeah.
Probably because you watched it recently.
Yeah, well, I bought it on Vudu, and it's like right now first at Vudu, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch True Grit again, and then it's just back in my mind.
Ah.
So anyway, that's enough of that then. If I'm repeating Western stuff that I've already said about Red Dead, and I don't know if it made it on the podcast because I know the episode a while ago I had to edit so much Red Dead talk out of it
Yeah.
that I don't know if that made it.
It was when we talked about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Gotcha. Yeah, Red Dead's still real good.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs also good.
Um,
Interpressing.
yeah. In more moving more into board gaming news, away from
Well, board gaming discussion. We're not into the news
well,
yet.
not news section, but moving more towards board gaming adjacent spaces.
Yes.
I went to a local con this weekend. It's called HexaCon. It was their second year. It was at a hotel about, 15, 20 minutes north of here, up at like 104th Street. I'm on like
Was it the
76th
Ramada?
Street. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, the Ramada.
Yeah.
It's one of those hotels where you can tell that at one point it was probably really nice. But
Back in the 90s?
That point was like at least 20 if not 30 years ago.
Also known as the 90s.
Yeah. 89
Dude,
was
late
30
80s.
years ago.
Why you do this? Why you do this to me? Yeah, probably in the 80s. So I feel like it was very 80s. So 40
So like
years ago.
40 years
Years ago.
old.
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably not quite that old.
No, I'm not going to believe you on this one.
but it feels old though.
I see.
But it has a really nice layout. I think it was actually a good spot for a con. I wish it was a little bit more central to Denver. I think that's going to hurt attendance for a long time. But I can't imagine that the Ramada is like super expensive that far north. Nothing happens up there.
I mean, at least it's right near I-25.
Yes,
So-
it's right off the interstate.
Yeah.
But they had a nice little setup. They gave all of us, all three of us, we had badges for free.
I don't remember if I had one because I never got an email about it.
You did because I still saw it. It was still there.
But I never got an email about it because you gave them the wrong email.
Yes. Zach
MileHighGameGuy.com.
Zach at milehighgameguy.com. So we had passes, but then I was up there mostly for Mile High Dungeon Delvers. We did a panel on role playing, and then we did a 2-part live episode there that will be airing not tomorrow, but the following Thursday. And it was a lot of fun. We actually had people show up to all 3 of the different things we did, the panel and the 2-part recording session. So we had live audience, which was shocking. I was surprised that people showed up.
How many people did you know?
That I knew?
Yeah.
I only knew Sean and V, who showed up for the first part of the live episode.
Okay, because I saw a picture of them, but those are the only people I saw in that picture, so that's why I was like, I was curious. Okay.
Yeah, so the panel on role-playing had like 5 people show up. The first session of the recording had like 5 or 6 people show up. And then the second part of the recording had like 2 people show up. So
there was people.
There was a lot of other events and things going on. You know, people were booked up for a fair amount of things. And then busy playing board games, because it's actually a little bit more of a board gaming convention, I feel like. They had a nice little library. Got to play a game of brass. Only really we were going to play a full game.
Which brass?
Birmingham.
Okay.
Only ended up playing, we were going to play a full game, but because they were like, hey, it's 9 o'clock and the library closes at 10, so you need to wrap up all your games and get the fuck out. And it was like, oh, well, I guess we're now playing an introductory game. We're going to finish these couple turns till the canal phase and wipe it and score. And this way, at least all 3 of you who have not played before now know how to play. So it was still really good. I was in like 3rd place at the canal phase, but I was really well set up. Like I then talked them through like, you know, how if I'd been planning for a canal phase, I would have done some things a little differently. But I pointed out like what I had done that was going to really set me up in the second half, and like how the person who was in like 1st place, like they had no network and no buildings out, no industries out going into the second half. So it was like, you're going to be in a really tight spot. Yeah. So you kind of blew your wad early, which worked because we're stopping halfway. But
the perfect half a game strategy.
Yes. That was a good chunk of my weekend. I was up there Friday night and a good chunk of Saturday morning. Then came back Saturday evening, hung out with Megan, just watching a bunch of Great British Baking Show, British Bake Off, and since it was first season or whatever. And then today, Sunday I did more D&D, and then today I got to play. I picked up Branch and Claw from Dave over at Time Well Spent, and so Megan and I busted that out and played with both of the 2 spirits from Branch and Claw, and I forgot.
It was just 2 that were added in that one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I'd forgotten how much I liked the 2 spirits, and I like the new tokens they add for like overgrowth, strife, disease, and wild animals, predators, something like that.
Yeah.
I really like those and how the new spirits use those, and
I just imagine like the predator is each one of those tokens.
Well, you can mostly only spawn in the jungle, so it's appropriate.
All right. Now I'm in.
Yeah. And I also really appreciate that it actually gives you more than 2 fucking Blighted Island cards, because that was always something that drove me nuts in the base game. Is like it was an option to play without any Blighted Island cards, or you could play with one of the 2 that both basically did the exact same thing and had the exact same effect when it blighted.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's fucking stupid. Well, they add a big stack of them in that expansion that do a bunch of different things. Like some of them are actually when the island blights, you get a boost, but it's like, you know, you're in tough shit, and then they don't give you as much new corruption on the card before you lose. So like if it's a really bad one that hurts you, they might give you 5 per player on the card. If it's one that helps you, you might only get like 2 or 3 per player. So I really like that. I did forget, however, how much I fucking hate the event deck in that game. I'm
not sure if I've ever played with the event deck in any of I've played.
Yeah, it was, in my opinion, way too swingy, random, fucky. It threw too much randomness and like shit you couldn't plan for that would just wreck your previously well laid out plan. And like, since one of the things I like about that game, especially as a 2-player game with Megan, is being able to cooperate and strategize together to like actually do some things really well. And so when a card comes out that just wipes all 4 of my powers for the turn, then it's like, well, why am I even playing? Like, this sucks. We still won very handily, but we were playing just base Spirit Island with no adversaries, no scenario or anything, since we hadn't played with the expansion in a while, and we didn't want to add too much. So, still good. Still like Spirit Island. Fuck the event deck from Branch and Claw. That's my thoughts.
Just in time for that new expansion to come out in the next 8 months or a year or
Yeah.
something crazy.
Yeah. So those are the main things I played. Everything else I will chime in with as you guys talk about what you played, because I was involved in basically
All of
some
them.
form of all of it.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
We kept playing games together, except me. I guess I
Yes.
have the most unique not play with you game guys.
Yes, because you were playing a lot of games. Well, Adrian and I were playing Herbalism.
Yes, which
Which-
apparently
It was
was a while.
it was a while, and first off, it took like an hour and a half to play.
At least. It
At
was like
least.
the longest game of Herbalism I've ever had.
Was it because it's the first to 7, right?
Yes,
Was it just because all the points kept getting spread out? Like,
and then
as
people would
evenly?
keep getting reduced.
Yeah. Like almost every time whoever made the choice was wrong. And so people who followed were losing points.
Yeah.
So like one person might gain like 2 points from like a prediction and a follow on the person who was actually right, who got their first 3 points on that turn.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was like 0 0 0, and then it was like 3 1 1, and then it was like 4 3 1 0, and then like like it kept bouncing, and so it just took forever to get up there.
I got 3 points, but then I went back down to 0, and then I ended up with 4 points, I think. And during the entire game too, I apparently had a migraine with an aura, which basically means
it's an ocular migraine.
So I didn't have an ocular
Oh.
migraine because I talked to Shion about it afterwards.
Oh.
Because ocular migraines don't have migraines afterwards.
There's no.
I didn't know you actually were having an actual migraine as part of it.
I did afterwards. I did.
Oh.
And so so basically what happened is my right eye, super tunnel vision, but it wasn't like darkness. It was just blurry and out of focus.
Yeah.
Like blind spot sort of stuff.
Okay.
So I was looking at the board and I could not see the cards. They were right here.
Wow.
Yes.
I've had an ocular migraine before. Those don't hurt.
No.
But you see some weird colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucks you get, like when I got mine first one apparently
Yeah.
ever a week or so ago, like I had a huge blind spot. Whereas like I could move my hand like from the side like around like, oh, there it is in my peripheral. Oh, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Did you
Oh,
get
it's
like
back.
triangular colors kind of moving?
Yeah, like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Like it was bonkers.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
But there's no pain.
No.
It's just sort of like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And lasts about 30 minutes.
Yeah. But no, there were literal times when I felt like I was taking an extra 1 to 2, maybe even 3 seconds because I was literally like, I cannot see my piece. I have no idea where it is. And okay, now I found it.
Great.
And I was looking at the colors on the cards and I was like, okay, I think it was the green. And I'm like, I only see 3 dots on here for some reason. And then I was like putting it on my face and then I like closed my right eye because it was only affecting my right eye. And I was like, okay, no, there are 4 dots here. I'm not.
Not crazy.
No. But what was funny is I still got 2 predictions right during all of this when I was 100% like, what the fuck is going on with me?
Yeah.
But I still ended up in last because I was just not like, half the time I was just like, internally, something is fucked up right now. And then eventually it went away and then I just got a migraine, which lasted until the next day.
Ouch.
And my eye was like hurting. Well, that hurt, sore for like a day or 2 afterwards.
Okay.
So that's why I was like super not interested in playing the estates, except that you were just like, all right, just go ahead and start setting it up because I'm almost done. Because if you were like, it'll be like another 10 or 15 minutes, I was totally going to bounce.
Yeah.
Because I was like, everything sucks.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. We still ended up leaving after that game
Yes.
of the States.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I was like, I got a whole D&D podcast to edit because I didn't plan ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So it was a all right game night.
Yeah. What did you play while we were doing that?
I played a couple things. Katie had some college friends in town. A friend from St. Louis, and then another friend that lives here that she just hasn't seen in a long time. Like their dorm helper person. I don't know, the like sophomore that sort of helps the freshmen. I don't know what that's called, but that's just what he did, and that's how they
Okay.
met back in college,
Okay.
out in California. The guy that has the ping pong table set up on his balcony.
Like the RA sort of thing.
Yeah, but not an
Yeah.
RA.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So we started off, I believe, playing Blockus. We were doing something else to start with. Oh, we played Click Clack Lumberjack. because Paul showed up and that's what he has. It didn't go well for Katie's friend Nikki. She just kept smashing the whole thing over every time. Not a gentle hit.
Did she do that Paul hit where one of the times we were playing with Paul and he like the first hit literally knocked over the entire thing?
No, that never really happened. But on multiple occasions, she would be hitting the one like second from the top and knocking that whole one down. But the top one kept coming down on top of it. She did that like 2 or 3 times in a row. I was really impressed. Then her friend Mike showed up, also known as Extreme, because that's just what they called him.
Okay.
And then we played Blockus. I don't remember what. I think I got second place in Blockus behind Katie, who's still really good at Blockus, mostly because she owns Blockus and probably has played it in previous. I think that was the 3rd or 4th time I've ever played Blockus. Blockus is still fun. Fun little easy game. And then we played Illusion, which you had brought. Did you bring it?
Yeah.
Many months ago at this point. You sort of just set it out in front of us before we were going to record and sort of showed it. This is the first time I've actually played it.
Oh, okay.
And that involves guessing the percentage of color on a card. Basically everything inside the like gray border on the card. White is never shown as a percentage, but it's like red, green, blue, yellow.
Yep.
And I think we played 2 rounds because you guys were still doing your longest game of Herbalism of all time. And then we went through one game, or like a couple rounds real quick, just sort of everyone learn. And then we played a legit game, which I just crushed everyone at. That's when you guys had just finished. And I was like, it was only like 4 cards in, and I think I had 2. Maybe 3 cards in, and I had 2, and I was like, go ahead and start setting up that game, guys. I don't think this is going to be much longer. And then basically the next time it came back around to me, it was just game over. I was like, bullshit. Totally just crushed everyone.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, all of you, go enjoy yourselves, because we have the estates to play.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more, though, on Friday.
Indeed. I think that's all I played at game night.
Yeah.
Hung around with people and drank beer.
Played some other stuff this week, though.
Yes, that's all that I had at game night.
Yes.
Even at the Tuesday game night, it was just more estates.
Yep.
Then you guys played Fall of Rome twice this week.
Yes.
Which was, Tuesday was my first time, and then we played it again last night.
Yes.
I should say Pandemic Fall of Rome.
There you
Pandemic Fall of Rome.
At least you used the right. At least you didn't say like Pandemic Glory to Rome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the newest. Zach's talked about it, but it's the newest in like the Pandemic line.
The Survivor series, yeah.
Survivor series, yeah.
Trademarked.
Where they
WWE Survivor Survivor Series.
Oh Jesus. But it's the barbarians and different tribes like invading Rome and trying to sack Rome. We got beat pretty handily in our 4-player game on Tuesday. But I enjoyed it. I was looking forward to playing it some more. And then we did a 5-player game on Sunday, in which Leander reminded me of why you don't quit games early. Basically, it was on my turn, and we had treated with 3 of the 5.
Allied
With 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
We still had the black one, the Vandals, with 5 spots.
Yes, which were spread out very evenly all game between all of us. So it was really hard to get that out alliance because you need 5 black cards.
And then we had the green, which needed 3, I believe. Maybe 4. 4. Paul had 3 of them.
Yep.
And I had the one that, like, I had what would have been the 4th one. And there was a city that I could get to where hopefully Paul could get to me and treaty with them.
Yep.
And then we did a little bit of math.
We went through the player deck to be like, man,
there are just enough cards for Paul to get a turn.
Yes.
But then as soon as Paul draws, we lose.
Yep.
And
we can't ally with the Vandals, the black cubes.
Like
at
the most
all.
anybody had was 2.
2, yeah, and that would have been too hard to.
Yeah. And there were enough of them where it was like, even if, you know, Leander, Zach, and Jeff all fight, then we're not going to kill them all. It's like, I don't think there's a chance, and we still have to keep drawing the like outbreak card,
Invade,
the invade
invasion
cards.
deck.
We knew there was one more outbreak still in those last like 8 cards. Revolt.
Also known Epidemic, aka
Yeah.
Revolt.
Yeah.
So we knew there was a bunch of things that were going to add probably even more black cubes, and we didn't think we'd be able to kill enough of them off as it was.
Yeah.
And so we were like, so do we just want to call this? And Leander was like, no, we don't need to call anything. He's like, I have my ability. I get to draw from these, like this event thing. I can burn all 4 of these cards to draw from this event thing.
Once he realized that.
Well, then we realized
once we told him, and he realized that it doesn't cost an action to use his
ability,
his secret ability, and he can do it multiple times.
Yeah. So
you just have to discard the color card. So his role was like the Oracle.
Yeah.
And he gets all of the event cards that weren't put into the deck, right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
yeah, as their own separate deck, and then he can discard a card matching the color of the city he's in.
Yeah.
To draw from that deck and add it to his hand. And so he did that, and as he drew his like 4, it was like remove after one battle.
Remove double.
Remove an equal number from another location. There was one that was like remove double or something like that.
Yeah. And in
just kill 2 and then or go down and decline to kill 4 of one color.
And in Fall of Rome, one of the new things is you can take a decline or an outbreak equivalent to get like a super version of that card. And we had very little decline/outbreaks during the game.
Yes, it was because we were playing with 5 players. Usually, the clock of the cards is what kills you most of the time.
Yep. So we were able to use all of these crazy good cards in their like super powered version because we had all of that decline room.
Yeah. And Jeff was like the crazy good fighter and was able to do a couple good fights. And ultimately we were able to eradicate all of the vandals, the black cubes. And then we had figured out that the place I was going to go with Paul to trade that last card, it would have taken all of his action to move there and then trade with me, and he wouldn't have had an action to resolve it. But the one of the last cards Leander drew from that stack before the end of his turn was a player may draw any card from the discard pile. So Paul was able to just draw a different green, go over and treaty with them.
Of which there was only 1 green left in the discard at all.
I think there might have been 2.
There are 2.
Was there 2?
But yeah.
Okay.
And so we were able to win on the last action we could have possibly won.
Yep.
Instead of calling it a full like round the table early because we didn't think there was a chance of winning.
No, we used every event card in the game.
Yes, we did.
That play.
Did we end up using your draw 2 extra?
Okay, we didn't use that one because that would have just hastened the
draw
game.
2
we
extra
ended
player
up having
cards.
all of them in hands. We didn't necessarily use them all.
It also helped that the final revolt was on the bottom of the deck, so it actually never came out.
Yeah,
that was very lucky.
That was very lucky. So
we did math it out. We actually played like if the revolt had come earlier, what we would have run into, and still that card that lets us remove like 4 cubes from anywhere on the board
would have
still saved us.
Yeah, because there wasn't a black one on the bottom of the stack, the invasion deck.
Paul, before we decided to go on, Paul had actually checked on the bottom of the stack to see if it was even worth remotely going forward. Because if there was going to be, I think, no chance.
Yeah.
But,
Well, but to be fair, if he had any other character, it wouldn't have been possible.
True.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the order that we were all sitting during that last round was
it was the perfect order basically because he spent his entire time getting those events, and then Jeff fought, I fought because I fought the far away shit that nobody else could do because I was the port guy.
Yeah,
I could just be like, I can teleport.
Yes,
well, and one of the cards we got was like travel somewhere and fight for free.
Yep.
Oh, I think that's the one I got.
Yeah. So
and take no losses.
Losses. Yeah, it was. So it all came together perfectly for the win there at the end.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 in that situation, calling it would have been the right choice because we would have lost.
Yes.
But that was the perfect storm that was like, oh, I'm really glad we didn't call it and we got to experience this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying Fall of Rome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go in much more detail because we'll probably be reviewing it sometime in the next couple episodes.
Indeed.
So, anything else for you, Zach, that you played? Or Jeff, that you played that you want to talk about?
No, I have not played anything.
Well, then that wraps everything up for what we've been playing. Jeff, any Blood Bowl news you want to throw in a brief bloody minute?
No. Championship, Ant won.
Yeah, all has been covered.
I've been correct. Well, there is a bloody minute corrections section.
Yeah, there's like 3 mistakes in the last episode.
I don't remember
apparently.
what they were.
All I know is that Jeff had 1 mistake and Adrian had 2 mistakes and I had 0 mistakes.
Wait, about Blood Bowl?
No,
It was about like the odds on the like 3.
Well, that was the odds thing, but then yours was on the Norwegians being out now versus being out in March.
The website says order now.
No, that's what I told him too. I was like, it's at a fast glance, I can see where Adrian went, and then
It is available to order right now.
to pre-order. Yes.
Yes.
So you can order it. A
Yep.
pre-order is still an order.
No, you're
you
not
can
wrong.
order it.
I'm just clarifying it.
I had said NAF was like $25 a year. It's actually $10 a year for the NAF.
Yeah.
And
Everybody should go join the NAV, even if you don't play Blood Bowl at those prices.
you get like, you do get like tokens and stuff, like a fame token or like reroll or stuff like that every year with your membership, which is cool. I was getting confused with the $15 a month that Ant would do, or $15 a year Ant would do to sign you up at the event, which I for some reason was just thinking $25. But he would charge people extra to be like, I'm registering you on the day of. Now he's just stopped doing that period because it's too much of a pain.
Yeah,
in the
no,
ass.
makes sense. Yeah.
Be registered beforehand.
The other thing was some football thing that you said.
Oh yeah, I was wrong about a lot of football
Yeah.
stuff. I mentioned something about like the Rams, because I said something about like LA beat Dallas, and I was like, wait, no, that the Chargers aren't even in the same conference, and then I was like, and they aren't in LA anymore when really they'd moved from San Diego to LA, and it was the LA Rams who'd moved from St. Louis to LA, who did end up beating
Those boys.
the Cowboys, and then this weekend, sports update randomly thrown in here right at the end. The LA
this
Rams,
is the sports section.
the LA, yeah, it's Bloody Mary.
Sports board game section.
Yes.
The LA Rams beat the Saints on a hugely controversial no call pass interference that was real bad. Real
Even the
bad.
guy that did it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And now I'm just going to walk away quietly because clearly no one saw that.
Yeah. Like the announcers during that game were even like,
I'm sure everybody heard him whistle while he was walking.
the announcers were even like, if he had actually done what he was supposed to and play the ball, like which would have made it not a pass interference, if he had played the ball, he would have had an interception and the game would have been over anyway. Like he just tackled the receiver. Like it was really bad and no call. And then in the AFC, the Patriots and Chiefs got into a ridiculous shootout where it was basically like score, no defense, all offense. And the Chiefs managed to kick a field goal right at the end to tie it and send it into overtime, where the Patriots won the toss. And then Tom Brady went like 4 or 5 3rd and 10s in a row down the field, and then finally scored a touchdown and just flat out won it.
And like Tony Romo, right? He was like calling all the shit that they were going to be doing.
Yeah. I found a link where somebody said that for the last like 10 minutes of regulation and overtime, like the 10 minutes at the end of regulation and going for like the 4 minutes of overtime, he called every single play that the Patriots did like perfectly. He was like fade to Gronk, or like over the top to somebody else, or like this will be a run to the left, and like just nailed all of them. Which has then gotten like the crazy wackos like, oh, the NFL's rigged and Tony Romo was trying to clue us in by telling us the play calls. When really it's like, no, Tony Romo's just really good at understanding what the offense is lined up in and where they're going to try to go with it.
He was a football player for a long time.
He was a really good
He was a quarterback for us.
yeah.
and he's always been just a fantastic announcer. So he really understands the game. It's too bad he got stuck playing on the Cowboys for so long. He might have had a better career.
Womp womp.
That was a good bloody minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's a bloody minute that Adrian can get behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just confused Ant. He's like, why are they talking about football?
That's really why we started talking about it.
Yeah.
Call me out on a mistake about an order date.
But yeah, Blood Bowl. Next season, it's going to keep going.
Right on?
Yeah.
We'll have more information when that launches.
Absolutely.
Let's get over to some news and some Kickstarters.
Yes. First up in news, Direwolf Digital, Denver's own, just announced a fuckload of awesome apps and app versions of games coming out.
Yeah, so
They went bananas according to this.
yes. There is a bunch though. First and arguably one of the biggest announcements, Mage Knight is getting a tablet version. supposedly it's a fantastic solo game. I know Paul and Mike Jones had played it recently and really enjoyed it as a 2-player game. And yeah.
I don't know much about Mage Knight.
I don't know
I know
much,
it's very popular.
but from what I've heard about it, the main thing I wouldn't like is how tedious it is for like doing a bunch of cards and all the like fiddly gameplay shit. And so porting it over to a tablet might actually be really great for it.
It is extremely highly rated.
Yeah. Then Root.
Some would say even bigger than Mage Knight.
Well, yeah, bigger in terms of current hotness.
Yes.
Mage Knight's a quite a bit older game, but I think
Also,
in
I'm pretty
terms
sure
of demand
Mage Knight is
for-
a bigger box, too.
Mage
so.
Knight is also physically quite larger.
Especially that Ultimate Edition.
Root, however, also getting an app version through Direwolf and Leader. I'm super stoked for this. I love Root, and I don't get to play it nearly enough. Having an app version, I think, sounds fantastic. I'm going to really have to try and figure out a way to up my Google Opinion reward so I can start earning all the money to buy
All these
various apps. Then Floodgate Games' Sagrada is getting an app as well, which I could see that working really well as
Yes.
an app. Real simple little dice games make good apps. Yellow and Yangtze for Minor Knizia, which is a relatively newer, heavy-ish game. Kind of, for those of you who are in the know, follows in the footsteps of Tigris and Euphrates, which I did not like.
It's
really bizarre.
supposed to be a re-implementation of, but
Similar mechanics,
Yeah.
but different game. Yeah. And then Wings of Glory / Wings of War. And finally, another one that we're fans of here on the show, Raiders of the North Sea from Renegade is also getting an app. All of those apps coming from Direwolf Digital.
Yeah.
So they gonna be busy.
and then they also announced that they've signed a deal with WizKids to have their whole catalog. So now there's going to be a bunch of WizKids games
Yeah.
that they're going to be doing.
Maybe Fury of Dracula, maybe
Yeah.
like an app support for Fury of Dracula.
I would say Quarriors, but there's already an app of that.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yes. At least there was on the iOS. On my iPad Mini, I still have it.
Oh.
So, and it runs on the iPad Mini first gen. So
Yeah, it's like basically a slightly better.
it's a slightly worse iPad 2, I think.
Yeah, I think it had the like A2X processor or something like that. Yeah, they're going app crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whole lot of new board game apps that'll be coming out relatively soon.
Always a fan of app versions of board games.
Yep. Especially ones that are good solo.
Yes.
Next up in news, Days of Wonder has announced a new roll and write, Cornith,
Yeah.
trading on the Mediterranean,
Yes. So
which you almost immediately wrote off.
I did. Yes.
You should have rolled before you wrote off, though. Roll and wrote off.
Yeah, we get it, Zach. We get it. Yeah. So because they were talking about it when we were doing show prep, and I was looking at Kickstarters, and they were talking about like, oh, it's another trading in the Mediterranean game, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll kind of check that out. And then I scrolled down. In each round, roll a handful of dice, take turns selecting dice, use them to deliver goods, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, never mind. And kind of wrote it off. And then they talking about it later. I was like, yeah, we'll cut that one. Like, it's a roll and write. Wait, what? Went back and looked, and yes, it's a roll and write. So it's still here because that makes the dice much more acceptable for me. But yeah, so for those of you who have gotten tired of exciting roll and write themes like being clever or
Foxes.
farms and foxes and things like that.
Subdivisions.
Yeah, subdivisions. They bring you trading in the Mediterranean to get you back to those really old school gaming roots. So, like Zach said in the pre-show, about 10 years until we get a zombie roll and write?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's already one out right now, but
Probably.
I
mean, there's a zombie train game, so
yeah. That's more trains than zombies, I think.
yeah, I think so too.
But it's a standalone game, 2 to 4 players, plays 20 to 30 minutes, includes a harbor board, 150 game sheets, 9 white dice, 3 yellow dice, and a rules booklet. Not a lot of information about how to specifically play, other than saying that it will challenge you to make tactical choices where you are trying to obtain the best offer for your goods while also making sure your opponents don't get their best offer for their goods. So with that market board in the center, I'm assuming there's some kind of a mechanic there to track prices, and then you're hopefully cashing in your dice at the right time. Not entirely sure.
Well, it comes out in May.
Yeah,
so.
and it's, Days of Wonder, so.
Yeah, and like $20.
Yes.
So pretty reasonable for a light, small, roll and write game.
Next up in news, Fog of Love is getting a standalone sequel?
Yeah.
Midlife Crisis.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually been announced whether it will be standalone or not. I was looking in a couple different places, and I couldn't find a definitive answer on that. But it is going to have kind of an interesting twist. So Fog of Love, typically a 2-player game where each of you play the different members of a relationship. In Midlife Crisis, however, it takes it from a 2-player game to a 4-player game. And according to Quinn's from Shut Up and Sit Down, apparently the way it's going to work is one of you plays one person in the couple, the other person plays the other person in the couple.
And he got this from the designer, too. Just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
So.
He does say that he's trying, if he remembers correctly.
Yes.
So it might be a little off. But the other 2 players are playing like the unexplored aspect of the people. So as Quinn's explains it here in this blog post, one representing the part of your lover that might want to buy a sports car, build a greenhouse, quit their job, have a kid, and so on. With 4 people pulling in different directions, will the relationship survive?
Yeah.
So I think that sounds like it sounded more interesting than the original release I read for it, where it didn't really explain how the other players are going to play.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of them being like a part of the other person that has been kept hidden from their lover, and that might start to manifest itself and really start pulling the relationship apart. So
apparently the 3rd game in the series will be about like relationships with people at the very end of their lives.
Yeah.
So you'll have people that's like, all right, well, my partner died, and now I'm just going to die too.
Fair enough.
That's a thing, unfortunately.
Yes, it is.
yeah. Next up on news.
Next up on news is Planet.
Are we talking about climate change again?
It's getting warmer.
This game looks interesting.
Yes. So this is a tactile environment building game where basically each person is going to have a 12-sided magnetic planet core. And as you play, you're going to be taking different tiles that have different types of terrain on them. So like maybe they're little
Hexes.
pentagons.
Yeah,
not hexes.
it's a dodecahedron in total.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a 12-sided
Yes,
die.
yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
But you take these little pentagons that have 5 different spots for terrain. So some of them might be like 3 ocean and 2 land, or like 1 ocean, 1 desert, and 3 forest.
Basically,
And-
5 slices.
Yeah. And you're putting those together to try and create land masses and features. And it's really vague on one, how you get to choose which one you put. And then at the end of the game, once all of the worlds are finished, you go through the animal cards and are awarded to each of the planets that's best suited to harbor that specific life.
Well, so the animals are at the end of each round you choose. And then at the end of the game, you compare the animals you have with ones
Yes.
that you have a secret goal card, apparently. So maybe it's vague on what that is, but it might be you want certain animals or certain...
Yeah. So you get the animal cards at the
Yes.
end of each round, and then you get the points for the animal cards at the end of the game,
Yes.
along with the bonus. But still, like I was looking at like the animal cards that they show, and I still can't quite figure out how they choose what planet to go to. Like, I mean, maybe something that just dawned on me. It might be like the sea turtle goes to the one that has the most water and the least desert, and then like the ones with the X's is like the most land with no snow, something like that. That actually,
Yeah.
I might have just figured out how the game works. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong.
No,
I'm
that's-
just guessing based on pictures.
No, I mean, that's what I feel like I said that when we were talking about earlier, but
If you did, I definitely did not hear you.
it's not the first
I was
time.
probably busy writing this down.
Yes.
Anyway, it has an MSRP of $35, which considering like 4 magnetic dodecahedron planet cores and the tiles to go to them, and that's a pretty reasonable price, I think, from looking at it just a components perspective. It'll be interesting to see if the gameplay is actually interesting and holds up.
Yes.
So
Looks neat.
that's Planet coming from Blue Orange Games.
And that's news.
That is all the news.
Hold on to your butts for Kickstarters, though, people.
Oh shit.
Dear God.
Got a handful of them coming up.
It begins.
Handful of butts.
Starting off strong, we've got Dark Rituals, Malleus Maleficarum. Extremely well funded. 361,000 of its $50,000 goal. 2,600 backers and just under 3 weeks left to go. You can pledge this one for a whole $145.
But yes, so we've moved the $100 miniature game of the week to the front of the Kickstarter so that the price gets more and more reasonable the longer you listen.
Yeah. Maybe.
So I'm a little confused because in 2 different places they mentioned 2 different player counts.
I see 1 to 4.
1 to 4 heroes,
At
Battle
the
the
top.
Witchmaster, which I think I've cracked the case of the differences because then down below it mentions that this is a asymmetric 1 versus many game for 2 to 5 players with a solo variant. So the 1 from 1 to 4 heroes is the solo variant, and then the 2 to 4 goes over to the
2 to 5.
with the 2 to 4 heroes added with the 1 versus many makes it the rest of that 2 to 5.
Mhm.
So yeah,
That's still not great though. They should have been.
they should have been way more
Yeah.
clear and not use 2 separate numbers in 2 separate
Probably
places.
should have been 2 to 5 players with a solo variant.
Yes.
Yep. But so
I don't think, you know what? It hasn't really hurt them.
no, clearly not. They've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a good thing they don't listen to us.
Yes.
But so 1 player will take on the role of the Witch Master, controlling the Legion of Darkness. And then everybody else will be part of a small band of heroes. With 2 players, the second player plays the heroes in a competitive game. 3 or more players, everybody joins in, each taking a different hero to help battle the Witch Master. And then there is a solo mode where the Witch Master battles game-controlled heroes. So instead of the bad guy being simulated in the solo mode, the good guys are simulated. And you're trying to kill them.
It's got an interesting theme to it. It's definitely a kind of dark fairy tale woods sort of
Yeah.
setting. Like,
There's definitely like peasants and demons and like
I kind of want to say Diablo, but it's not demons. It's like witches.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the heroes definitely look Diablo-esque. Like there's like a dude with a plate armor, like an arm or helmet, a big long broadsword, a crossbowman, some dude with a huge fucking axe.
I kind of get like more the Witcher setting of kind of like a dark woods horror feel to it without all the mythical monsters.
Yeah, there's other weird shit like a plague doctor, things like a zombie wall, so there's zombies in it now. It's all over the place. But again, hasn't stopped it from making a pile of money.
Yeah, there's a demon lord.
Yeah, the overall miniature quality, like I don't see really anything that looks like it's actual minis, so it's one of those things again where you're betting on the renders actually working out. The White Witch has her breasts hanging out. That's awesome.
Yeah, I noticed the demon lord has a huge dong that is like the thing from Tremors.
Well, I guess at least they're treating both genders equally by showing off their bits.
Yeah, I definitely get a bit of a Kingdom Death vibe off of the demon lord.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Jesus.
It's got a face on it.
And a mouth.
Anyway, so
Horrifying.
so each turn, the active player takes 1 or 2 actions, and then the Witchmaster activates any member of the Dark Legion. When it's the hero's turn, basically you're nominating a hero to take their turn. There's no fixed order. So if a hero's in a great position, they can, just take over and crush a bunch. All players manage a shared pool of stamina that's used to pay for character actions. The Witchmaster has a single pool that is used for all of the evil characters. And then each hero has a little bit less stamina that they can use exclusively for themselves, with actions having various stamina costs. There's also reactions that you can spend stamina on to counter whatever the witch leader player does. And within each game, there's a skill tree where you can advance your skills and get your heroes more and more powerful, improving attributes and things that help with die rolls, better gear, stronger magic, things like that. Different abilities let them help each other. And you run through scripted scenarios that they call encounters, because that's never been used before to describe a scripted scenario in any kind of game.
So yeah, minis game.
Indeed, with rare. I was reading a thing that said rare, with a bunch of weird demon miniatures and art and things. And
Fulfilling only in January of next year.
Only one whole year away. But that's it for Dark Rituals.
Yep.
So on to the next Kickstarter.
Much brighter. This one is Coral Islands. Well funded, 14,000 of its $8,000 goal, 352 backers, and just under 2 weeks left to go on this one, which you can pledge for $40.
So Coral Islands is 2 games in 1. They're both dice stacking games. Takes 30 to 60 minutes and play 1 to 4 players. And this is coming to you from Alley Cat Games. So Coral is a 3D pattern recognition game where you have your own dice, but you place them on a shared board, creating different shapes in 3D, utilizing not only your own dice, but your opponent's dice as well. The dice being Coral in this case. And then Islands is a fresh take on set collection and drafting. So you use dice stacking to move neutral dice around the board and use drafting to get different cards that will determine which dice you get and determines how far you can move the dice. And then at the end of that one, you go through and look at whoever has the most cards of a given color scores points based on the tallest stacks of dice with that color dice on top. So, both seem like fairly simple little dice games. They list their weight on their own page as 1.5 starfish. But the fun is 5 starfish. So much fun.
Surprised there was enough starfish to fill in. Like they didn't run out of starfish because it was like an infinite amount of fun.
Yeah,
that's where they limited themselves to like 5 starfish out of 5.
They maxed the maximum amount of starfish fun that you can have is being had with Coral Islands.
Yes. I like the dice stacking. The dice look cool.
Yeah. Comes with 76 dice. So
yeah,
a shit ton of dice.
Do not play on a wobbly table.
Right. Especially Islands, because those stacks look like they get tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coral sounds kind of interesting. I like the idea of like it's like Connect 4, but with vague shapes that you might not know what's on everybody's card, what shape they're trying to make, and it's not just 2D, it's 3D as well, and
you have to place them in a descending order except for ones. So.
Yeah, so it makes for some really interesting things.
Yeah, $40 for the version that comes with the mini expansions, and $32 for the base game. Both include stretch goals. One thing that they do have on here that is interesting is the Kickstarter exclusive like mini expansion is like a 6-month window. So it will be available later, but
oh, okay.
Yeah. Just interesting that they're upfront with that thing to be like, hey, you'll have it for half a year.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. And it comes out, I mean, you get it for...
In some ways, I think it's almost like a nicer way to do an expansion. Like, you get the base game, you get time to learn the base game, and maybe kind of play through it and enjoy it, and then like, oh shit, here's an expansion, and now it's back to the table.
Yep.
So, free shipping to our folks in the UK.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, $4 shipping to the US, $5 for Canada, $8 for the EU. For EU1, £8 for EU2, and then rest of world anywhere from $9 to $24 shipping.
Yeah,
depending on where in the H you live.
I think this is the guys that did Dice Hospital previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I think that's their last big release.
Yeah. So that's Coral Islands. If you want to check out a couple of different dice stacking games for a pretty affordable price.
Yeah. Next up on Kickstarter is New Speak. Well-funded, 13,000 of its $6,000 goal, 314 backers, just under 3 weeks left to pledge this one, which is most popular at $44.
Yeah, so this is coming to us from Inside the Box Board Games. Coordinate the revolution or suppress dissent in this immersive code-breaking team game of subterfuge subversion for 3 to 6 citizens is their tagline. And this one looks somewhat similar, like Codenames-esque, I'll call it. So each game you divide into 2 groups, the dissidents, and the moderators. You set up a 3x3 grid of location cards, and the dissidents take a code card, and the moderators get a matching code sheet to that code card. Then the dissidents have 2 minutes to use their codes in a free-form conversation to coordinate on one of the 9 locations that they will meet at. The dissidents will set the location they believe they will be meeting at in their dials and set them face down in secret. So like you all talk about it for like 2 minutes and everybody sets what location they're meeting at, puts them face down. The moderators then have 1 minute to crack the code using the code sheets to run through all the possible codes they could have been using. They will declare which location they believe the dissidents are coordinating at by placing the mod timer on that location. Dissidents then reveal their dials. If they coordinate a majority at a single location without getting caught, it's flipped to attacked side, moving them closer to victory. If they fail to get a majority, or if any of them are caught, the moderators win that round and remove the location they chose from gameplay. And then you play a couple different rounds until one or the other team wins.
And it sounds like it has a little bit of spy. What's that spy game?
Spyfall.
Spyfall.
Yes.
The ones I gave you because I no longer own.
Correct.
Spyfall. It has a little bit of Spyfall in it in terms of like you're trying to talk about a location without these other people figuring out.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious. I assume the 3-player game, it's 2 dissidents and 1 moderator, because it wouldn't really make sense to be the other way.
No. I'm just not going to say anything.
I know exactly where I'm going.
But no, I want to give this one a shot. I think this sounds like it could be a lot of fun. I was trying to
Got
look.
some good art too. I like it.
I don't see a good view of what the code sheets look like. They do have some pictures, but I can't really get them zoomed in enough to actually see what the code sheet looks like. So I don't know what kind of code you're going to be trying to work with here as you make your plans.
They have an interesting way they do their rule book. It's not just like a PDF file. It's like a live file that you like flip pages through.
Interesting.
Yeah. They do have a print and play that you can get access to just on the Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah. I should say the most popular one is $44, but that comes with like the deluxe edition and a playmat. Of course, the playmat is popular, but this game goes down to like $23 at its base pledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's New Speak, trying to take down augmented reality servers.
Indeed.
Next up in Kickstarters is Arrival Restaurants. Another well-funded one, $79,000 of its $30,000 goal, 1,112 backers, and over 3 weeks left to pledge this one for $64 for the deluxe edition.
And I just want to clarify that was Rival Restaurants.
What did I say?
You said rival restaurants, so Arrival.
Arrival Restaurants.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say it's Rival Restaurants.
Rival Restaurants.
You said that part fine. It was just you said you did your before. So
Rival Restaurants.
Arrival Restaurants. It's a old Charlie Sheen restaurant movie
with knees bending the wrong way.
Yep.
Oh man, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
So this is the follow-up game, kind of in the
Kitchen
vague
Rush
realm of Kitchen Rush. Very similar art style if you're familiar with the Kitchen Rush. But in this one, instead of everybody working together to run one kitchen, you are all competing to run the best single restaurant. So everybody has their own little restaurant set up with various upgrade clips and cost guides, action cards, chef cards, all of that. And then there is a common market board where you're going to get all the resources to run your restaurant, and then trying to make decisions about, whether you want to really invest in your chef, and if you want to invest in ingredients and recipes and decor, things like that, to boost up your restaurant and be the best at restauranting. Yeah. Also, all of the restaurants are unique. So there's 12 different chefs, 8 unique restaurants, and 48 different recipes, which adds a lot of variability. Variability to the game.
Or variety. You could just choose one of the words. You don't have to combine them both.
But I want to so bad. And everybody plays together, so they have a all-together mechanism that they talk about here.
Because it's always your turn.
That lets everybody play at the same time, creating a whole new dynamic for strategizing and negotiating.
There's a timed variant that you can use as well that has an app or a sand timer if you really want to get fucking nuts.
I really like that one of the chefs is Gardena Eden, the Vengeful Vegan.
Nice.
Always solid names.
Love Handles McFatterson, the plus-size chef.
His ability is jelly rolls.
Gordon Ramsay. I don't know who this person is. I think it's a random person who must have play tested it. Gordon Ramsay would be proud because of the food and yelling.
Yeah. The jelly rolls thing, it's apparent like when he is at a market, all the other counters are blocked to other chefs except him.
Biff Barbecue.
Oh, yeah, the meathead. He's still locked. We don't know anything about him. Kimchi, the dramatic chef. Phyllis Grubman, the lunch lady.
To be fair, the rule book that I'm looking at has all of these and their abilities in it.
He's supposed to be locked. You're cheating, Jeff.
Here's a secret. You can use any Chop Shop ingredient in place of any vegetable.
Oh, no.
He
just wondering that. Thank you.
He just replaces vegetables with more meat.
Nice. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this nice salad, and it's just a plate of meat.
All right. I could be in for that.
Yeah. It's a meat.
I feel personally attacked when I look at the recipes. So they broke the recipes down into 6 basically various cuisines. So 6 American, Chinese, French, Italian, Japanese, Mexican, Korean, and Vietnamese. And all of them look amazing except for the American, which is just like pancakes, bacon, and eggs, as if that's like a really interesting dish. And then the Mexican one is just Nacho Supreme, which I'm pretty sure is Tex-Mex, which is actually American.
You're not wrong there.
So
I mean, you can make some really good Nacho Supreme, but yeah.
It's true.
But it's a Mexican restaurant, which is...
So it's Taco Bell.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
when
Mexican restaurant in America. So
when you say Mexican restaurant and put air quotes on it, I just think Taco Bell.
I mean, that's like Americanized Tex-Mex, I feel like.
These are one of 6 examples for
Taco Bell is
food.
Tex-Mex for people who don't actually like Mexican food.
Yeah, probably.
And drunk people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it is great drunk food. But yeah, so that's everything for rival restaurants. So if you enjoyed Kitchen Rush and want to do
want something
competitive.
that is competitive, but a lot different mechanically.
Yes, also yes. Go check out rival restaurants.
Next up in Kickstarters is a Tokyo Series 4 to 6. Tokyo Series 2? I don't know. It's the next 3 of them. Very well funded, $136,000 of its $50,000 goal. 1,132 backers, just under 3 weeks left to pledge, which you can for $100 or like $150 or $200 or $250. There's get everything.
So many options for what you want.
Yes. A lot of people have paid $250 for everything.
I mean, if I had the money, I would totally do that.
Yes.
So for this particular series, the 3 games are Tokyo Coin Laundry, Tokyo Tsukiji Market, and Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to be the one to try and pronounce Tsukiji Market. I probably butchered it.
Probably.
It seems close.
So starting off, Coin Laundry is brings a laundromat into your living room, using miniature sewn fabric clothes, operate washers and dryers and more, including a dozen unique games ranging from 5 to 45 minutes in length, conceived by various guest designers from across the globe. Dexterity, role-playing, and conflict, perfect for any setting or player count. So
comes with a bunch of little laundromat things.
Bunch of stuff happening in Coin Laundry.
Yeah. They did that with one of the previous games.
Yeah.
The like vending machine one.
Yeah.
The one I'm really interested in from this set, Tsukiji Market, heavy economic fishing game where players take the role of Japanese fishermen, setting custom prices for their catch to sell to other players, on top of a completely open player-driven economy. Game-to-game variability is provided by a randomized mix of 8 different fish markets, including massive tuna auctions.
Are you telling me Tuna Boat Mafia?
Tuna Boat Mafia.
Oh, man.
And then over 7 different support stalls that can improve your ships and fishing abilities. That is just so many, hashtag Team Adrian buzzwords right there. I'm very excited. And then finally, Tokyo Game Show. You will host 5 rounds of a Japanese game show, inviting 5 of your friends to put on colorful wristbands and compete in devilish mini games of your choosing. Over 50 games included in the box from 10 categories, plus the option to use any of the other Tokyo Series titles as featured games. This party hit is perfect for any studio audience.
And I just want to say, if you've seen any Japanese game shows, they get weird.
Real bonkers.
One of my favorite ones is they have a bunch of people in a room, and you're trying to figure out what shit in the room is made of chocolate by biting it. So they'll go up to a table and just be like, "Is this chocolate? No, it's just a table." "Is this shoe chocolate?" "Yes, it is." Is a doorknob? Yeah.
Interesting. I will be on YouTube later.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that would work really well for those other games that are like the little 5-minute like laundry games or whatever.
Yep. Additionally, some of the other higher pledges, you get some different Japanese games that they just kind of lump into Japanese designers. So things like Praise, a game about discovering genuine versus fake compliments. Colorful, a game about categorizing and matching colors as a group. Cactus, a dexterity game where players compete for flowers in the desert by stacking colored shapes onto cactuses. Yeah, so those are the 3 Japanese designer games that are also potentially included depending on your pledge level.
You didn't say the best thing is that the Praise comes with a cool guy standee.
I
greaser.
literally just scrolled down and saw that, and it's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Greaser.
Greaser, yep. Japanese greasers.
Yeah. Or cool guy.
They are cool. I mean, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, as with the previous run of Tokyo series, they've got a very unique kind of interesting art style. Really colorful boxes. They're also relatively small boxes. So nice little set of things to get if any of those sound interesting to you. Which this one actually, the first one, it was like I wanted one of the 3. This one I actually kind of want all 3, especially because I feel like the Japanese game show one might be hilarious for the podcast.
It's true. Yeah, and individually they're not cheap. Like the fish market one, like it's $45 just to get that one by itself.
Yep.
But you can get all of them for $100, which is not a bad deal. Or you can pay $200 and just get everything.
So the $250 pledge, by the way, is all 3 of the Tokyo series from the first run, all 3 of this Tokyo series, and the 3 Japanese designer games.
Yeah.
So 9 games for $250, which sounds like a lot of money for 9 games, but that brings it down to like $30 each.
Yeah. And if you missed out anything on the first one, I think they're offering even the metal money from the first Tokyo series game in this as well. I think the only thing they don't have in this one is like the challenge coin. Oh no, they do have a new, it was a stretch goal in this one, the challenge coin, which you can keep, or if you like see the guy at some point, you can turn in the challenge coin for like a gift or something if you give him your address.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it worked, but it was just a coin you get, and you can keep the coin, or you can be like here and get something. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I remember it being interesting.
Yeah, that's the Tokyo series 426. So continuing in their trend of weird and interesting games from Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for Kickstarter.
Indeed, that is all the Kickstarters. So I think that brings us over to Jeff's favorite section of the podcast, listener feedback, featuring
Emails at milehighgameguys.com if you would like to send us an email. Like these 2 fine people did. First up is Nick, titled Been a While. Hi, Mile High Game Guys. It's that nerd in Sioux Falls. You guys are still the shining light of the repetitive media changing, life-altering, scientific, theoretical bullshit I call a job, so thanks. Shout out to Ant and Jeff. Thanks for all the Blood Bowl info to help my dad out. Y'all are the best. I think he posted that on Slack.
He did. He was asking some questions on Slack a little while back.
I found a group that plays a bunch of heavy games, and it's awesome. We played Age of Steam, the Panama map, the other night, and it was fantastic. You've wanted to play Age of Steam but have not, or you don't want to play Age of Steam?
I've played Age of Steam once. It was my first time ever going to play games with Edward from Heavy Cardboard, way back when I first met up, and I beat him. I won Age of Steam. And I feel like that was the moment like I was accepted. Like they're like, oh shit. Like, cause he was giving me all these warnings about like, yeah, nobody ever wins their first play. Like, you know, don't feel bad if like you get stuck in a death spiral of money trap. And then I won. And I was like, yeah.
Suck it.
No big deal.
Suck it, nerd. Just saying, Adrian, we have a group out here that is down to play Splotter, Age of Steam, and 18xx regularly. So if you want to visit South Dakota's largest city and play games with the largest heaviest caverna-condemning, Agricola-worshipping, floor-slapping board gamers in the state, then come on up. We have beer.
So it's actually funny. Earlier today, I was hanging around the house with Megan, and my email alert went off, ding, and I pulled it down, and it was Indeed, because I'm still looking for a job. They're like, we have a job that might match for you. And I pulled it down, and it was for some like technician position, fixing machinery stuff. And I was like trolling out. I was like, oh, this actually sounds pretty good. Like, okay, full benefits, blah, 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 blah. Relocation assistance to Sioux Falls, North Dakota.
South Dakota, sir.
Or South Dakota. Sioux Falls, whatever. And it might not have been Sioux Falls. It was somewhere north or South Dakota. And I was reading it out loud to Megan because I was like, oh, this actually sounds like it might be good. And then I got to that point. She goes, I'm not moving to I'm not moving with you. It's like, yeah, sorry, Indeed, not interested. So also, sorry, Nick, I'm not moving to either of the Dakotas.
He's just saying to come visit.
Visit. You don't have to stay.
Visit much more feasible.
Also, Zach, I fucking love Hani Mikoji, my favorite 2-player game. I show it to everyone I meet who will sit down for 5 minutes and a coffee, and must have coffee. I feel like a vegan CrossFitter with this game.
He's not wrong. It's definitely, I've definitely shown it to a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And after the first game, everyone's immediately like, can we play that again? Because I actually get the game now.
Yeah.
And I want to have a chance at beating you.
Yeah.
That was the game that V was so excited to finally beat you at.
Yep.
Fun fact, I'm applying to a master's program for genetic counseling, and for shits and giggles, I'm applying, and simply because of the board gaming group and the MHG guys, I threw an app out to UC Denver. Maybe it's the wrong reasons to apply to a school, but I think it's all the important reasons. Yeah, that's probably better than Sioux Falls. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what other schools he's applying to.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would still apply to, like, the good schools for genetic counseling. But then also, maybe, if UC Denver is, like, not the worst.
Yeah.
Then
yeah, if they're like, if there's one school that's worse than us, then that's good.
Life-study balance is important.
Yeah.
Just like work-life balance is important.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that's a wrong reason.
No.
Pretty much, I'd say the only wrong reason is if you go across the country to, like, go to a school that your girlfriend or boyfriend goes to, and then you immediately break up, and then you're like, oh, fuck, now I'm here all by myself.
But you don't know that's the wrong reason until you know that's the wrong reason.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep plucking that chicken.
Yeah. We won't break up with you, Nick.
That nerd some people call Nick.
So my convention schedule for this year is, like, rapidly collapsing. And it just reminded me because he mentioned that they played Age of Steam Panama. And one of the ones I have a small hope of maybe thinking about attending is a small, like, 30-person convention in Kansas City that's an Age of Steam convention. So I've played Age of Steam in, like, 2 years. I don't know how many people I actually know who would be at an Age of Steam convention in Kansas City. But also there's really good barbecue. So maybe.
But then you have to drive across Kansas.
Yeah.
I've done that enough. I'm like,
I mean, it's still the worst.
I'm immune to it. I mean, I'm not immune to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know how to handle it.
It's
just a lot of speed.
And Dragon Ball
Amphetamines.
podcasts.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second email is from V, but because it is almost exclusively about the estates, which is our featured review this week, we're going to read it during the listener feedback for the review.
Yep.
And address her thoughts and feelings towards the estates in that one.
Yes.
So we're not blowing you off, V. We're just pushing you down the road a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just kicking you down the road.
Yeah. Just imagine your can. Yeah.
Yeah. Flying through the air.
All made of tin.
Yep.
And that's emails at milehighgameguys.com for this week.
We have a, dare I say, plethora of comments over in Paulo's Corner. All on the episode 126. First up from Mike Jones.
New person to the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Which I don't think I got a subscriber notification, so he's not fully committed. Man, being the absolute first view of a video on YouTube makes me realize how dreadfully unprepared I am to be the first to do anything. I wish I had some sweet statement to memorialize this moment. Suck it, nerds? Nailed it.
I feel attacked. It hurt.
I would feel more attacked if I wasn't pretty sure that suck it, nerds are the 3 most common words I've ever heard out of Mike Jones's mouth.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That is followed up by M commenting, Isn't Adrian an enslaved child? I didn't mean I like Coors. It just seems to be everywhere and it becomes hard to avoid. I don't get the enslaved child. I do remember mocking M for choosing Coors or mentioning something about drinking Coors. And I was like, yeah, I tend to not drink that even when it's free. I don't know. I don't know the enslaved child reference though. You lost us, M. You lost us. Paulo rounds it all in, brings it all home by reasserting himself in his corner, saying, Quacks is so bad. It's just a luck fest with virtually no decisions to be made, aside from what shit to buy. Even the push your luck is a very limited decision. If it was a 15-minute game, it would be enjoyable. At 4 players, it takes just a little over an hour, and that's way too long. Terrible game.
No, it's definitely a luck fest. I don't think we would ever not say that.
Okay.
So it's how you feel about that. We enjoyed it. I don't think you would like it, Adrian.
Okay.
But that's,
Good to know.
Yeah.
He continues. Great Western Trail is bad? Question, exclamation, question. I don't know how to quite put that inflection into the stunned response. You guys clearly are hitting all cylinders in this episode. OMG. The new Gons, Sean Clever, is pretty much the same as the old one. Have to agree with Adrian there. The sheets are different, and they have a new special action that hardly constitutes as a different game. I'm backing Suburbia. It looks great. My favorite city building game is The Capitals. You guys should try it out. Amazing game. Smiley face.
So I feel like I just to sort of go through all of those games. You're the one that hated it the most, right?
Wait, what?
Great Western Trail. Out of us 3.
I don't remember.
I feel like, what did you think about it, Jeff? Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's not bad. That's just, and
I've had it rated a 5 on BGG for a while, which is definitely in my meh category. I still own it. I've been debating throwing it in a raffle for like 2 years, but I feel like I should give it another chance. So I wouldn't say I think it's bad, but it certainly was less and less enjoyable every time I played. So it was trending towards bad. And then we did the review and I was like, I don't play it anymore. So now it's even. It's average. Maybe it will rebound. I don't know. I was talking to somebody else in the Slack channel who said I think it was Nick. And he was
like they played in like under an hour.
Yeah, they said he said him and his wife play it in 45 minutes as a 2-player game, and he really likes it at 2 players. So I'm tempted to.
Well, I think it's just the bad plays of being at game night. I think that was a problem for a lot.
Yeah,
of it.
and that was a big phase where we were crushing review games at game night. We weren't really good at doing a good job of meeting up outside of game night to play some of them.
Yeah.
So maybe that'd be different. Need to give it another shot. Maybe we'll get the expansion sometime and throw it on as a expansion review or something where we do a couple games with expansions. A couple games we didn't like, see if the expansion save them or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Make an episode out of it. Who knows?
The nose knows.
We may never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Sounds familiar. Gons, I know you guys criticized me when I had mentioned it looks like it's basically the same thing, and you're like, it totally changed. And I don't know. I think we're somewhere in the middle. It's not the same game, but it didn't totally change it.
I mean, it's just it's a new. It's the same mechanics, but with a new sheet. So,
and
how many
potential
games
new action
you have played, Zach?
Considering you average 7 a podcast, and I don't know how often you play outside of the podcast.
A lot.
I'm at 335 games.
854.
So we're well over 1,000 games between the two of us. So I'm sure there will be a significant difference in this new one, because it seems like we've pretty much honed the strategy you need to get the most points now. This will definitely be a refreshing version.
To the point that Zach, when playing during the pre-show stuff, was like, oh, I put that in the wrong spot, starting over.
Yep. Oh, yeah. 100%. I will. It's so easy to just be like, and we're starting over, because I'm just trying to get above 326.
Is that the highest that you've done?
No, highest is 326, yeah.
326. And my highest is 325.
Yep. I work so hard to be like, it's going to get one better than Jeff.
What's the overall high score?
I think it was 330 something.
Yeah.
We worked it out.
Oh,
has somebody hit the theoretical
max?
max?
I don't know.
Because isn't there is there a leaderboard?
Current high score is...
It resets.
It resets as 330, though.
330.
Okay.
So I'm 7 right now in this thing, most clever players.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't see Adrian's name in here at all.
Fuck no. I've never scored above 250, I think.
Wow.
I'm lucky to score 200.
My average is 236.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Anyway, yeah, Suburbia looks great. I have not played the Capitals. I would like to.
Yeah.
Because I do like city building games. Anyhow, that officially wraps up the Paulo's Corner over on YouTube, which brings us to our last little bit of listener feedback. BGG.
Yeah.
Got that ready, Zach?
Yeah, this is on the... I'm assuming this was from episode 126, A Sick Man, because Steve says, in response to you all not liking Great Western Trail, what we were just talking about, you really need to give it a better chance. The game is certainly long, but in my experience, it never, quote-unquote, felt long. Turns are fairly quick, and you're always pretty interested in what everybody else is doing. Seriously, if you're not interested, I'd be up for trading for your copy too.
So first of all, Steve, feel free to look on BGG there at my collection. I've fairly recently updated it, and you, in theory, know what kind of games I like. So make me an offer for a trade, and I'd consider it. But just to touch on it one more time because it's been brought up twice. My biggest problem for me with Great Western Trail is it was a game that I did feel should play fast. Like I always on my turn knew what I wanted to do, and it felt like other people would hem and haw, and I was like, how are you guys not having your turns planned? Like I've had my turn planned and like people building and like doing things to have doesn't really affect it. Like there's a little bit of getting in each other's way, but not much, and so I don't know. I apparently I need to give it another shot. People keep yelling at me for
sitting at number 9 overall right now.
It's well regarded, but I mean it's not the only game in the top 10 that I think doesn't belong in the top 10.
Clearly, we need to play Great Western Trail.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. What happens if it just comes out mediocre again?
Then we get back on here and we berate everyone who got us to play it.
It is the children who are wrong.
But yeah, if you would like to get a hold of us, you can do so in just so many ways. You can send us an email.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can find us on Facebook.com/milehighgameguys. milehighgameguys.com for show notes and links to all of the different news and Kickstarter items we talk about, as well as a link over to our Board Game Geek Guild, guild number 2731, where you can subscribe and comment on the weekly episodes that Zach has started changing the naming of to more accurately reflect what they are. Like episode 127 and this, 128 and this. So feel free to give feedback or anticipatory thoughts over there in the guild. And you can follow us all on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHG. G.
Do you want to take that again?
Jeff?
No, leave that shit. That's amazing. I love it. And of course, if you're ever in the Denver area, be sure to come out to our Wednesday game nights where you can play games with us and give a shit in person. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it all up, I think. Thanks, as always, to our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games. There is still about a week left on their Kickstarter, War of the Worlds, The New Wave, where you can play as the lovely humans trying to save Great Britain from the invading hordes of aliens.
Who landed in Scotland, so you're defending against the Scottish. The new Scots.
Yeah. So basically,
It's just Braveheart 2. That's what it sounds like.
Braveheart 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
And they've got walkers.
Yes, they do.
They're real close to their next stretch goal. About to hit 100K, which is going to be I believe a plastic faction building. So you've got actual like plastic building things that you can put different tokens and stuff such on. One thing that I did learn today about Gray Fox, they always have Gray Fox exclusive on there, not Kickstarter exclusive on there.
Okay.
Because they don't do Kickstarter exclusives. On their Kickstarters, you get all of those things for cheaper, but they will make those things available later from Gray Fox. So
Gotcha.
You can't get it in retail, but you can order it from them.
Nice.
So that's a neat little thing they did.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
Yeah.
I didn't quite realize. Clearly, we need to talk to them more about how they run shit so we can accurately represent them. But
That sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
it sounds so hard.
Sounds like too much effort for our podcast.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So I think
let Draft Mechanic or one of those other ones do that.
Yes. Board Game Blitz being the other
Yeah.
Yes.
one. I don't think they've picked up a fourth sponsor
Okay.
that I know of. I think it's just the three of us.
Oh, is it just the three? Okay.
Yeah.
We're hip and with it.
What did Jake call us? He had some really cheesy name for all three of the Gray Fox podcasts.
I don't know. But you can reach out.
Yeah.
But yeah, War of the World's probably going to hit that 100K on there. They still got about a week left to go. I am in the midst of collecting things to print and play this game.
Nice.
Ooh, awesome. Yeah. I'd be interested in giving it a shot.
Yeah. A lot of sleeves and crap cards behind.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's where having bunch of magic cards is always nice.
I just don't have a bunch of magic cards anymore.
Yep.
Well, you can, in the anniversary raffle, get a ticket and put it in for whatever pile ends up having the 6 unopened decks of magic that David gave me. And then you'll have 6 decks worth of magic.
Sure.
Assuming you win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out War of the Worlds, the new wave over on Kickstarter. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement to go along with this?
Gray Fox Games. Quality games cleverly crafted. Also, I'm no hero. Never was. Never will be.
Jeff, you gotta have faith. You can be a hero someday. I believe in you.
I'm just an old killer hired to do some wet work. I can continue the quote because it goes on for another 2 paragraphs.
I don't think that's necessary. In fact, I think we could end the episode right about here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Be sure to tune in on Friday for our review of The Estates from Capstone Games. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm no longer as sick as I was, Jeff.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.